I mean, you're talking about you were drawn to justice and injustice. So in your world, you were facing a grave injustice by the people that you loved and loved you the most.
I could see where they were hurt. I could see things from their perspective.
Yeah.
And I felt this huge gush of compassion for them.
Oh, wow.
Because they couldn't see what I could see.
Yes.
I could see this guy that I so badly wanted to marry, and I knew he was.
Yeah.
Although, from a world's perspective, it was very different. So I felt sorry for Mum and Dad. And I think that helped.
Welcome to our friends. So glad you could join us on this Wednesday. And I've got two very, very exciting guests that come to join me today. I'm joined by Dr. Ajit and Dr. Alfeen. I would like for them to actually introduce themselves. So we'll start off with you, Doctor.
Hi, I'm Ajit. I'm a pediatrician by profession. Recently retired. I did my basic medical training in India. I did my post-graduation in India, went on to the UK to specialize, and then moved to Australia in 2008, and we've been here since.
Where did you move? That's pretty big.
Yeah, so we were in Scotland, so we moved to a little country town called Albury, Wodonga. Mm-hmm. So I keep telling everyone we moved from the snow to the bushfire. So that was a long time ago, and that's where the kids grew up, and we set up our own practice there, and it was doing really well. I'll let Alfeen share the rest of the story.
Hi, everyone. Lovely to be here. My name's Alfeen, and I'm of Indian heritage. I'm trained to be a doctor, a physician in India, and then moved to Scotland to retrain as a GP.
Yeah.
And worked in Scotland for a couple of years, and then moved to Australia along with Ajit and our two children. We've got Adrian, who's just got married.
Yes.
He works as a doctor in Toowoomba. And his beautiful wife, Maddie, is a graphic designer. So they've just got married last week.
Yes.
And our daughter, Audrey, is doing her final year in law and media in Sydney.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's us.
You guys, your names start with A. Was that on purpose?
Oh, I was looking for this guy. Who's this guy?
Her name was something else. I converted it to Alfeen.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Like I would allow that to happen.
Yeah, I know Alfeen is pretty precious about her name.
Yes, very precious.
So maybe tell us your name. What's the background to your name?
So Mum and Dad was in the Air Force, and when he got married to Mum, he took her from the state of Kerala to the north. Mm-hmm. And the first place they went as a couple and they visited was my dad's cousin in Delhi or Bombay, I'm not sure. And they had two daughters, and one of their daughters was called Alfie.
Okay.
And Mum absolutely adored her.
Oh.
But her name was spelled Alphy. So it was Alfie. And so I think that name struck with Mum. And so when I was born, I was the second daughter for them. My older sister is called Ivy.
Okay.
And so when she had to name me, she decided to, call me Alfeen.
Okay, nice. What about you, Ajit? Any symbolism to your name?
Nothing. I think that was a common name in India, so I ended up getting the first one that came out of the hat.
Yeah. Wow. And so your family still reside in India?
Dad passed away about 12 years ago. Mum's by herself in India. My sister and her family is in Kuwait.
Okay, wow.
My dad passed away 18 months ago. Mum's in India, and my sister and her husband, they live in India, yes.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about your background, your childhood days.
Dad was in the Air Force, and so we traveled quite a bit through India before he decided to retire from the Air Force. So when people ask me which part of India you're from, I usually say all of it. Yeah, and I can understand about 4 or 5 Indian languages. So grew up in a family where my sister and I were brought up to be very independent. Dad believed in equality. Although he didn't believe in feminism, he believed in equality, and he ingrained that very strongly in us. That if you expect a man to open the door for you and be chivalrous, then you've got to also accept that you want the door opened. Whereas I grew up thinking I can open my own doors, I can do everything, so I don't need someone to do it for me. So unconsciously, I grew up with that bias that I'm quite capable, I'm quite independent. Education was very important for us as a family. So my sister and I were encouraged to study. Like education was the beginning and the end of our lives. So much so that when I was 12, I decided I wanted to be a doctor. And from then on, I was just this determined little thing who wanted to get into medicine.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a very disciplined home in the sense we had to contribute to the household chores, even though we had maids come in. We had to do what we had to do. And there was a time for everything. We could watch TV just for 30 minutes in a week.
Wow.
And we had to take permission from our parents. There was no taken for granted that, the TV is there, the remote's there, it's all yours.
Just switch it on.
We had to take permission and we could only watch it for 30 minutes. And irrespective of whether we had exams or no, we were supposed to be in the kitchen at 5:30 in the morning, contribute into making a cooked breakfast and a cooked lunch for all four of us before we all left home at around 6:37 in the morning. So it was very disciplined. But also
valuable lessons.
Very, very valuable, yeah. And also filled with love and communication and everything else.
I'm sure a lot of jokes and laughing.
Oh, yes. Evenings were spent talking in the balcony. We'd all sit down and talk about the day. And so communication was very important.
Yeah.
And unconsciously you do that. Right now, you've got a list of things that families should and shouldn't do. We didn't have any of that. What we did, now looking back, it feels like it was amazing that my parents inculcated all those values.
You cherish that.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Ajit? What about your childhood?
So I was born in one of the eastern cities of India called Calcutta or Kolkata now. And my early childhood days were over there. Then Dad and Mom moved to Kuwait in the Gulf because Dad got a job there, and then one by one took the family across as well.
Yeah.
And I was there for a couple of years, and then Dad and Mom felt that the level of education wasn't up to the mark, so sent me to a boarding school back in India, where I did most of my teenage years over there. And then finally went down to Kerala, the state I'm from, to do my 11th and 12th. And then took up the exams and then joined medicine in Karnataka or Bangalore, where that's where I met Alfeen. And we knew each other there for 5.5 years during the whole course over there,
So your parents and your family were still living in Kuwait,
yeah.
And you moved alone. You haven't mentioned, though, what pulled you into medicine?
So my dad was very particular that he wanted either me or my sister to do medicine. My sister couldn't stand the sight of blood, neither could I at that point, but she blatantly refused, saying that she wouldn't do anything down this line. So Dad said, you'll have to do it. So there was no other option. So
it was just placed on you.
So I tried to bargain with him and say, I'll do dentistry or any other, medical field, but not basically general medicine. But, then seeing that it was his wish, I said, all right. And then I did medicine, and I thought I had achieved everything that I could in this world, and then realized that I just have an MBBS. And I needed to study more. I needed to specialize. So that's when the journey actually began,
How did you feel when your dad kind of placed it on you to do medicine? Was it something that you were passionate about, or?
Yeah, he said he would support me throughout the course. So I knew he was doing it for my good, because one thing he told me was, if you do medicine, he said that's one profession that you'll have work anywhere in the world you go, or at any point of time. I'm sure he didn't realize anything about COVID and stuff, but that's the only profession that continued, isn't it? So I think he was quite far-sighted that way, and then told me to take up something where I wouldn't have to struggle looking for work.
Yeah, it was medical and IT technology that kind
Yeah.
of thrived in that area.
Yeah.
So when you were growing up, what was some of the key milestones in your life that stand out to you?
Probably getting into medicine was a very, very important milestone because I didn't get it straight away when I finished year 12. And I was quite disappointed. So I moved into the arts because I topped my university for English in my year level. So I thought I'll move into something. And I was very passionate about justice, and investigative journalism was something that I was very passionate about. So when I got a call to go into medicine, I happily left the arts and jumped into medicine, which was good because those years of medicine was quite tough.
Yeah.
And because I didn't get in the first instance, I knew how badly I wanted. So I didn't give up.
Yeah.
5 years, even though they were so hard and so difficult, I didn't give up because I knew that it's not easy to get in. And it was never easy to finish the exams and pass the exams and get out. So I valued what I had.
Wow.
And
And that was self-driven.
yes, it was very self-driven.
Wow.
From the age of 12, I was self-driven. I knew I wanted to get into medicine. So I had a timetable. I had subjects to study. I had topics to do. Everything was very organized in
That's
my
next
head.
level discipline. I want to touch on, in India, getting into medicine itself is pretty challenging.
Yes.
Right? There's only few that actually get selected to do that. And you have to be at a certain level. Can you share that about with me a little bit more?
They have an entrance exam system as well there, but then you may get placed in one of the remotest of states, That's one of the biggest hurdles when you take up an exam. You don't get your preference,
Wow.
And I
your
think
place.
all of that does help in making you quite
Resilient.
and also make you quite appreciative of what you have rather than what you don't.
So whilst you were in that phase, I'm sure you must have faced some mountainous challenges during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think getting through the whole MBBS degree was also hard, and they're quite strict. It's 50% is the pass, so you get 49. That's it. You lost a year there.
Alfeen, so talk to me about the pressure that you felt. This is more from your side because you're so self-driven. You've set a level of expectancy.
Yeah.
Talk to me more about that pressure.
I think you put a lot of pressure on yourself if you're a perfectionist. Somewhere along the line, I'd realized that I'm not a perfectionist.
Yeah.
I was very self-aware. I knew what my strengths were, which was hard work. I knew that I was persistent and I would work very hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter to me what the goal was. As long as it was my goal, I would reach that goal. But I was never a perfectionist. And I can look back now and think, yep, I did things. I knew how much I needed to get through the mark, and I aimed for that. I had found ways and means of getting through the exams with knowing exactly what I needed to know, and what I didn't need to know, I didn't bother about. Whereas if I was a perfectionist, then I would have put a lot of pressure on myself.
Yes.
Now we know all of that, right?
In hindsight.
35 years ago, as a teenager studying medicine as a 17-year-old, I just went with the flow. And I think, God was with me and I was very blessed with that kind of a mindset at such a young age to be able to go through all those challenges. Yeah.
At that stage, did you find yourself in like a depressive state?
I think I'm a very optimistic individual, and I've always had the opinion that nothing is too hard as long as you put in the effort.
Yeah.
So the question of being depressed didn't come because, first of all, I was very grateful I was there because I knew how many of my friends who had tried to get in weren't there. It was more about what I have and what can I do with what's in my hand. I mean, of course, we all felt overwhelmed, but I don't think I ever felt depressed. I had a good bunch of friends who do late night singing and, crazy things to keep the fun and frolic going, and also had a deep sense of faith.
We had no time to feel depressed.
That's a good one.
People who have too much time in their hand.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So you say that, right? And we laugh about that. But your dad asked you to do something.
Yes. Yeah.
So talk
because
to us about that relationship with your dad.
Dad and mum were both workaholics because he used to work his regular job and he used to help a friend out with another one. So for them, it was about providing for us. So he said, I'll do anything it takes to make sure that
Wow.
you're looked after.
Yeah.
You just go and study. That's all you need to do.
Wow.
So when he was doing that, I didn't have the heart to say, I don't want to take up medicine and I'd like to do something else. So it was more sort of obeying his wish.
Wow.
So that's the reason why I joined up. But I'm glad I did because that's where I met Alfeen.
And like you said, looking back, yeah, you were this vibrant young woman, very independent. You had this self-determination about you. And no one was going to tell you, do this or do that. You decided for yourself that was something that I was going to do. And on the other hand, you have got Ajit, he recognized his dad and he said, the commitment that your dad made to you, that love that he said, you've got my full support.
I've been teaching at some of the universities here as well, and I've asked students why they've missed lessons or exams and things like that, and they said they had to work to pay for the fees. And I just feel sorry for them, thinking that there's no one to support or back them.
Yeah.
Whereas I had someone, so I was able to get through my studies without having to worry about the financial side of things.
So besides the financial support that you had, obviously that's a big piece because it does cost quite a bit to study. Talk about the other emotional support that you felt.
The only emotional support I got was from Alfeen. I think parents were overseas, so I would write a letter once a week that would reach them 21 days later, and it was the same letter every time, Never got any support from that sense from my family, only because of the distance.
Yeah.
We had a good bunch of friends growing up in school and in uni and med school, and then Alfeen was there as well. So we formed our own group and we used to look out for each other.
And that's, this is one of the biggest challenges we face in modern day, is that we don't have those friend connections that we do. We don't have those fun moments, clean fun moments that we can actually do with friends, and that support is not there. And from your side, Alfeen, what about your family support?
Our family background was very different. Mom and dad believed in communicating. Like, we had to sit down after dinner every night and talk about the day, talk about what happened and, what things annoyed us. And, it was like a therapy session. It was very important for them that we communicate, and it was always there. I remember second year or third year, I don't remember. I'd fallen ill for the exam, so much so that I didn't think I could do my final exam. Mom and dad came, picked me up, took me home, looked after me, and every day they would drive me up for the exam.
Wow.
Very communicative and very close, almost to the point that sometimes I just wanted a little bit more space. But I didn't have the courage to tell mom or dad that. So we just did what we had to do.
Me, on the other hand, I fell ill in the second year. I was pretty bad. I had developed a drug reaction as well. And I was in hospital. So Alfeen looked after me and my friends from med school. I didn't have that family support because of the distance.
The distance. Yeah. Wow, it's such polar opposites. But yet when you come together, you fit so nicely, you support each other. Talk to us about that love that you developed for each other.
So we're a very huggy family.
And
so we hug
not.
everyone. Like every morning when...
I know I'm like that.
Every morning you see mom and dad. If someone watches us, they think we'd never seen each other like for years.
Yeah.
So we'll be like, good morning, and wish them and hug and kiss and all of that. And then I go into Ajit's family and I do the same thing. And his mom was...
I think we were starting all the COVID restrictions. From there on.
Way
We
they were
started kind of
training. They were training from
For
birth.
social distancing.
And I remember she was standing with both her hands down, and I was like, "I'm giving you a hug. You know what you're supposed to do? You're
Hug
supposed to
back.
put your hands around me and give me a squeeze." And she
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, okay." And I thought, "Oh, wow, okay, this is going to be challenging." But yeah, we are huggies now.
Yes, she's converted me.
Yes, I was like, "You've got a hug."
I know one of my thoughts that I want to press on, like, what was the most challenging journey in your life that you faced? I mean, I'm not talking about you broke your ankle or something, but something
I
that
did break my ankle.
And I had no role in that.
We're on air, so she's saying that.
we got you recorded now.
I think the most challenging part of my career was doing my post-graduation in North India. I worked in one of the toughest departments, which were a lot of dropouts from our department. And Alfeen always mentions is that when we used to watch any episode of the series Friends, she would be laughing away, whereas I'd be looking at it with a straight face.
Zoned out.
Zoned out, absolutely no emotion, because I'm thinking about what I need to do with work the next day, So that was my life for 3 years over there while I was doing my postgrad. I think the authorities could have done it better. To go through that trauma there, it was not warranted.
Yeah. Ajit, I'm probably going to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'm a firm believer that for men specifically, we go through these challenges and we don't really have a good support network that we can actually speak about these things.
Yes.
And sometimes we just cover it up and lock it up in a vault and go on with life. But in the lessons that I've learned is that part of respecting oneself and loving oneself is being able to pull back those layers. And I know for our friends that are listening, that are joining in, some of them faced in this situation. They faced up with it. And for them, they have no way out. They probably see themselves in this dark place of despair and depression, having this high level of expectancy hanging over them, and they cannot live up to that. That is not self-induced. It's placed on you by others. Yeah. Yet, the very service that you are supposed to do is to be something that is building the community and beneficial to the community.
Yeah, I felt a sense of despair because I was carrying out my parents' wishes by, doing medicine and then post-graduation.
Yeah.
I knew I would count the days to finish it because it was a 3-year course. And, every day was a struggle. Prayer is the only thing that got me through
Pulled
it.
you through. Wow.
Yeah, so the day I finished and I got my degree, I was just ready to leave.
Wow. I like us just to pause there. For me, that's a powerful moment. And I can actually sense in what you were saying that amidst of the expectancy, your commitment to your dad, yes, you had his support. You had every opportunity to drop out.
If I would have dropped out, the issue is, I was married. I had to support, Alfeen was also studying and working as well. So for me, it was, we were going to start a family. So there were a lot of expectations out of us as well, So for me, pulling out of the course meant what next, I had no idea what I would do next,
Wow.
We didn't have 20 different options then. So once you join, you just try and finish and get out. So
Sure. Well, we're blessed to have you. There's so much of strength that I can draw from you just by that. I don't see a lot of that. Alfeen, that's why you've loved him so much, because you saw that in him. He's quite sensitive. For me, just learning from you that determination is not just that you get from somewhere else. It's something that comes from within. You've had so much that you were juggling. You had your parents' expectation, you had the medical fraternity expectation, and that was very unhealthy. But you had this love with Alfeen, you had this commitment that you made to your wife. And I think for me, if I had to nail it, it was that commitment.
Yeah, it was.
So there's a scripture that says that love bears all, love hopes all, and in all is all. And when I look at you, I actually see love. I see that when you make a commitment, you stick to it. And we don't have a lot of men that have those role models in their lives.
We went to church regularly then. We had prayer meetings in our rooms, And my sister, she was in another uni. She had come over with her church team. And they prayed over us, and that's when things turned for me, at least. I came to know the Lord more deeply, and I started following His steps. Till then, I was just a Christian on a Sunday.
Yeah, wow.
But then things changed after that one visit from my sister.
So, friends, when I mentioned in my story in the first few episodes, I said, this is not a religious discussion, and this is not a religious podcast. And it is not a religious podcast. But you can see for yourself when we have real people going through real challenges that we need something that is beyond ourselves to draw strength from. And for me, it was my relationship with my Heavenly Father. And we find the same for Ajit, being in a different country, going through his own challenges. For him to navigate the expectancy of his parents, the commitment that he made to his dad, the requirements and the regulations that were stipulated on them from the medical fraternity, which was very, very unhealthy. And then also his commitment to his wife that he was in love with, and they were newlyweds, that he had to draw this inner strength. He was in a dark place. He had a lot of friends and colleagues that were dropping out. And yet he felt this need just to push through, to bite down on his teeth, take the bull by the horns and say, I'm going to do this, come what may. And the only way he could do that was drawing strength from his relationship with the Lord. And so my encouragement, sometimes we're in a dark place and we don't have the answers. We have to look up. Look up. My encouragement to you is look up. Thank you for sharing, Ajit. That's so powerful. For me, it's really, really touched me, and I find it's such a privilege for me to hear this. Alfeen, you got a strong man beside you.
Very blessed.
And I can see why you guys love each other so much. Talk to me about what was the most challenging part in your life.
Biggest challenge for us was when we wanted to get married, and I had to tell my parents about the decision we made to get married. And it was very challenging because they never expected me to do that, coming from a very religious, also a very close-knit family where I was the yes child. It was very easy for my parents to expect that I would go through the path that my sister took. So it was going to be an arranged marriage.
Whilst we're there, can you just share with us and with our friends in the Indian culture, how does that actually play itself out so they know that you went totally against cultural norms?
The expectation was once you finish your graduation, so you've graduated from your university and you're eligible to get a job or to become independent, then your parents want you to get married. They will do the Tinder for you. So they will go online. They will choose a suitable guy for you from a suitable family. When they say suitable, they look at everything. Your social scale, your economic scale, your family scale. Like they do such a hardcore job with it that, you almost matched perfectly with that family.
Okay.
and then they find the guy for you. And so for my sister, what we did was mom, dad, and me would go and interview the guys because we are a very different Indian family.
So they had to present a resume?
Yeah, they had to present the resume to us,
And
and
then
I was the one
you
going
went
through the
to
resume.
the interview?
Yep.
For the
And
potential partner?
Not like sitting in a job interview, but sitting in a cafe or in a restaurant.
But it's
and
still
I'm,
an
And
interview.
I'm scrutinizing this potential guy and seeing if he's good enough for my sister,
oh,
right?
wow,
So I
wow,
was
wow.
that. So that's what we did. So when we found that the guy is suitable enough, then he gets the opportunity to meet my sister. And then if my sister is agreeable, then they go out on a few dates and then they like each other and then they say yes. That was very untraditional of our family. Usually it's the other way around. The boys come home, they see the girl, and then they make the decision whether they like the girl or not. And only when they say yes to the girl have the opportunity to say yes or no. Whereas I didn't think that was fair.
So you had to call the shots.
Yeah, we were calling the shots because my sister was too good to be true, according to me. So my parents expected to do the same thing for me. But going through all this whole situation with my sister, I had made up my mind. I was not doing an arranged marriage. I was like, I didn't trust anyone to select the right person for me. I was so sure that I am going to choose.
You knew what you wanted.
I knew what I wanted. I was very clear about what I wanted. And so traditionally, I didn't follow that path, right? So when I told my parents I wanted to marry Ajit, obviously all hell broke loose. I mean, they knew Ajit very well. I had made sure that he had come home that many times. He had met mom and dad. They knew him as a person, and they loved him as a
So
person.
they built a relationship
Yeah,
with
they
him.
did. I was very, very. It was very important for me that my family likes him as much as I love him. But what I didn't realize was that him being a Protestant and me being a Catholic is very important. But we were both
the
born
families.
again, to the families. Yes. Not
And
not
also the
Ajit's
fact
family.
that we both just finished medicine, and I didn't have a secure job then. So those were things as a parent. Those are things that
you want your daughter to be like like the way our family was. They'd make sure that you're marrying someone who's already like a couple of years ahead of you, established, has got a home. Like that's all part of the arranged marriage Tinder thing. They make sure it's all sorted for you. But I was so when I explained it to mom and dad, they went completely 180 degrees south. They were hurt because I hadn't mentioned it to them earlier, and they didn't want to have a bar of it. So that was for me the most challenging part of my early 20s. I was 22 then.
all along Alfeen always said if her parents won't agree, then she won't go ahead and get married till they say yes. So she was quite adamant that they had to say yes.
Okay, so talk to us. What were you feeling at that point in time? Because you had love on the line.
Yeah.
But the love of your life plus the love of your parents and your family.
Yeah.
It's a conflict.
It's a huge conflict, yeah, because you've got the loyalty that you have towards your parents, considering all that they've done for you. And then you've got the love of your life, and you know that this is the only person you want to spend the rest of your life with. So, yeah, it was, but for me, like Ajit mentioned, by then I was growing in the Lord, I was praying, and I just had peace upon me. So much so that even when mom and dad were treating me differently or behaving in a different manner with me, I just was very peaceful. I would pray, I would read the Bible, and I would come out in the morning and go and hug them. And then, of course, there was no hugs back. They were very cold and non-communicative. But I was able to proceed and behave like as if nothing mattered. It was the peace that I knew that I had from the Lord.
That was grace.
Yeah, that was grace. I could oversee their behavior. I could overlook their words, their harsh words, and I was able to go through that phase just by God's grace.
Wow. It must have been tough. 22 years old.
Yeah, very young.
And thrown into that.
Yeah,
And so the Lord was your strength.
absolutely.
His grace gave you strength to go through that situation. What would you say for someone who is probably going through that situation but does not have that relationship with the Lord the way you had? What would you say to them?
I would say, first of all, get comfortable and confident with your decisions. Your decisions should not be something that's very frivolous or not something made on very superficial terms. You've got to make sure that the decision you made is something that you have actually thought upon
Okay.
and act upon, because it is something that you're deeply convicted about.
Okay.
Only then you want to take a step forward.
How did you get to that point at 22 years old?
First of all, I saw Ajit growing up. Like, I was 17 when I first met him, and we were all a group of friends. And I knew from the beginning, God had given me a spirit of discernment. It was just a natural attitude that I had. I could see through people, and I could see through this person that he was a deeply strong, loyal, convicted person of God. That he was like the rock that wouldn't shake because his faith was so strong. It was like he had dug his heel on the ground and he wouldn't budge. And so I knew that for me, this was the perfect match. I knew that I would be safe and secure with him.
Wow. And you were willing to wait.
I was like, I told my parents, if you don't want us to get married, that's fine, but I won't be marrying anyone else.
Wow. So you kind of also dug your heels.
Yep.
Not in a stubborn way.
No, I just did it in a loving, graceful manner.
And you were able to still serve and love
Yep,
your family.
Absolutely. And I think that's very important for someone who's going through a difficult phase. Don't lose yourself in the bitterness around.
Yes.
It's very important that you hang on to your identity,
Yeah.
and you do what you have to do. It's about doing the right thing amidst the wrong that's happening, and the peace that comes to you.
Wow.
Because you've done the right thing.
Wow.
Because you're being kind in the midst of that
Sure.
unkindness.
Wow. Alfeen.
Will just lift you up.
That is so powerful. I mean, you're talking about you were drawn to justice and injustice. So in your world, you were facing a grave injustice by the people that you loved and loved you the most. And yet they could not see what was really in your heart.
I could see where they were hurt. You know, I could see things from their perspective.
Yeah.
And I felt this huge gush of compassion for them.
Oh, wow.
Because they couldn't see what I could see.
Yes.
I could
Yes.
see this guy that I so badly wanted to marry, and I knew he was there.
Yeah.
Although from a world's perspective, it was very different. So I felt sorry for mom and dad.
Phew.
And I think that helped me.
Can we just pause there? I think that was so powerful. Wow. To have compassion for someone you love that's inflicting pain on you, to see from their perspective. That is, Ajit, you are blessed to have such a strong woman that is able to recognize this is what I want, but didn't go about a rebellious way of getting it. But instead you felt their pain. That is empathy. You know, I think we've just experienced such a powerful and a profound moment. And you know, this we might be recording it, and we've got friends and family that will be watching it. But right now, this is an intimate moment. Dear friends, we have experienced such a profound moment where we were all moved with such compassion. We could feel it. It was palpable in the room. When you combine courage and compassion, you get a concoction that is so powerful. It allows you to brave through an injustice of hurt and of bitterness. of meanness faced and an onslaught from those whom you love and hold dear. When it starts off with a dream becomes so powerful when your decision is not made frivolously, but you take time in making that decision and have the courage to act on that decision, even though the people around you don't agree with your decision. And you know in your heart that this is right, and you hold your ground. That is courage. But moving from that, not becoming better, but demonstrating compassion to those who don't entirely agree with you, is actually empathy personified. You are demonstrating grace and mercy. So I speak to you as we've learned from Alfeen and Ajit. What's it like to have courage under fire? What's it like to truly demonstrate compassion? So as we've just watched such a powerful story, and we've witnessed such a powerful story, may you be encouraged in whatever situation that you face an injustice from the ones that you love. Take some time, build on your courage, and allow that to be coupled with compassion. So that would be our takeaways for today. Dream versus your commitment. The courage to dream and the courage to uphold the commitment that you've made. That is integrity. To endure the challenges that you face, the hardships, it takes courage. And the last takeaway is having that compassion under fire, which we find is so difficult in this day and age. People want to give up, they want to cancel, they just want to cut you off. But my encouragement to you is pause. Allow compassion, love, grace, and mercy to flood your heart, and you can demonstrate that to the people that you love. Thank you for watching, and I hope you felt really encouraged by Alfeen and Ajit's story. For next week, we are going to switch it up a bit. We're going to see a young lady discovering what it is to have courage, facing her challenges, her adversity, her fears. And so we look forward to listening to Elizabeth McLeish's story on courage under fire. Thank you, and see you next week.
But I noticed as I was growing up and getting older that I was quite shy, and people would comment on it. My parents would sort of make little comments, and I could just tell by the way that I was in certain social settings. Because I had friends who were really confident and I used to envy them. I had one friend in particular, she was probably my best friend growing up, and she was the opposite of me. She was so beaming with confidence. Everyone gravitated towards her. I thought to myself, what does she have that I don't have?
Yeah.
And why do people gravitate towards her but not me? I feel like I'm a good person and I have traits and qualities that other people would like, and I have things to offer as a friend. I didn't find people responded to me in the same way and treated me the same way as they would treat her.